Today is Wednesday, November 18th, 2020. Today we are going to review our Google Meets like we do every day. And review our class norms, review and recite our mission statement and goals. Then we will work on our science warm-up. We're going to do Wednesday's warm-up. We will not do Mondays and Tuesdays since Monday things were not working. And yesterday, we tested and played Kahoot. So today we're just going to go to Monday. Okay, so we're just going to do Monday, Wednesday, and we're going to go Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. Goodness. We're just going to do Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week, okay? We're not going to do Monday and Tuesday. If you choose to do it on your own, that's fine. But I am only going to expect you to do Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Thumbs up? All right. So, and then we will do the water retention lab, which I think it's called something else online, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. And then we'll do, we don't do math workshops in small groups. We might end up doing math workshops today. All right. What comes next? I feel like it's been months since I've done this. Please make sure that you show up on time. You have a quiet place to work. You have all your supplies. Mute your microphone. Video on. Raise your hand or use the nod if you have a question. Sit up fully engaged in your learning and leave at the end of the meeting. Our mission statement. We will work together as friends and family in Mrs. Metz's class to gain more knowledge, to work, and to learn, so we can all be successful. We will listen to each other, help each other, and encourage each other. We will make things happen and show the world we will not accept anything short of the best. Good job. Our goal is 100% of Mrs. Metz students will show growth on unit assessments throughout the 2020-2021 school year. They will accomplish this goal by being purposeful and intentional with their time and learning. So the growth means that you get better every time, and you get better because you want to get better, and you get better because you're working harder. And you get better because the intentional part is that you realize that maybe last time it wasn't as good as you wanted it to be. So this time, you're going to make it as good as you want it to be, right? All right. The warm-up. Oh, nope, our class norms. I do apologize. Be kind, be respectful, and be working. All very important things so that we can be successful. Today's learning objective is, the earth consists of useful resources and its surface is constantly changing. Today we will examine the capacity to retain water and the ability to support growth of plants. Now, the capacity to retain water. Retain means to hold on to water. So I know that you guys are not here to fill all the different textures. I'll be able to explain them to you and you'll be able to see it. And then we are going to test how much water it holds. All right. Our warm-up, your champ's expectation is you are at a level 0. If you need help, you raise your hand and wait patiently. Your activity is your reading, thinking, solving, typing. You need to add that in there. Movement, please stay in your seat, at your spot, wherever you're learning. Please do not get up and wander around. That is a distraction for those of us that are online. Your participation is you're 100% focused on your work so that we can all be successful. Remember, all be successful is huge. All right. For our Wednesday, I will read it to you, and then I will show you how to get into it for those of you who have forgotten how to get into your warm-ups. Just thought of something. It may not be published. I may have to publish the module. I don't remember. So hang on a second. I may have to fix that. So number 1, a train signal that is coming through a railroad crossing with a whistle. List 2 other objects that uses the same source of energy as a train. List 2 other objects that uses the same source of energy as a train. Number 2, guys, I see that some of you have questions. Please hang on a second. Number 2, a student takes a piece of bread out of the toaster oven and places butter on top of the bread. Explain any changes to the bread and the butter the student might observe. Now, it says bread and butter, okay? Number 3, what form of energy caused the change or changes to the bread and butter from question 2? Not or, and. So what happens to the bread, what happens to the butter, and why? All right, let me open up another tab so you guys can see. Guys, I don't know if you noticed, but mine, when I open up a new tab, does not go directly to the HEB ISD link. Some of you have it pinned up here. I don't have it pinned, so I just go search it every time, okay? I'm just going to go search it. It's not that big of a deal. I can click on it. And then it automatically logs me in because I'm already logged in somewhere else, which is totally fine. I can go to my Canvas page. It says Mrs. Metz, 4th grade. Let me make sure my module is published. I don't remember publishing it. Yep, it's published. Okay, perfect. So there are 2 ways to get into your assignments for this week. You can scroll down to the single sunflower because we are in a new 6 weeks, right? We're in the 3rd 6 weeks. Scroll down to the new sunflower. Click on week 14. Thank goodness it is the only week. So, but you know, guys, I've told you before, if for some reason you don't know what week we're in, just check the dates. And as you see, Science Week 14 warm-up is right there. So go ahead and click on it. Some of you have questions, so hang on just a second. I am not in student view. Let me get in student view real quick. Guys, I am not ignoring those of you who have questions. I am trying to get to a pause point so that I don't have to say your name on video. So give me the pause point. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on over here. I'm trying to get my student view to work. Hang on a minute. Hopefully you guys are not having the technical difficulties I am right now. My system is running a little bit slow. Nothing I can't handle. All right. So now I can scroll down. Week 14. I'm going to open up my science warm-up. Load week 14 warm-up in a new window. And again, we're only going to do Wednesday. So go ahead and go to the Wednesday. If you want to zoom in on it so you can see it a little better, go ahead and do that. Click on the text box and start typing your responses. You have 5 minutes. Starting now. Be directly connected, and that's kind of what I try to do, okay? So if you notice, you have science first, and then you have math workshops, and then you have social studies. So it still says the W14, the week and the day, just now you have science and social studies in front of it, okay? All right, so going to go look at Science Week 14, Day 3, the Super Soaker Soil Retention Lab. Super Soaker Soil Retention Lab. Super Soaker Soil Retention Lab. Now, I can read through all of these directions. I actually will read through them real quick, and then I am going to switch screens because I want to do just the lab, and then I've got a couple of other things that I have to set up so you guys can do it. All right, so part 1, and now I'm going to have 3 different types of soil. One we're going to call camel. So I'm going to put a filter in a funnel or a well, first we're actually I'm going to touch it and feel it to kind of get an idea of what the texture is. And then to see how much water it retains, I'm going to put a filter in a funnel. I'm going to add a tablespoon of the camel soil into the filter, and then I'm going to put a cup under it. I am going to pour 100 milliliters of water into it, measure what comes out, and what is collected is what comes out. I'm going to record that in the lab sheet, and then I'm going to measure, and then I'm going to calculate, which means I'm going to subtract to find out how much was retained, okay? So collected is what's in the cup, retained is the result from subtracting, all right? And I'm going to do that with the 3 soils, and then we're going to record it in the lab. So if you would, scroll down to the Load Science Week 14, Day 3, Wednesday, Super Soaker Soil Retention Lab. Super Soaker, say that 3 times. Super Soaker Soil. Super Soaker Soil. That's hard. Super Soaker Soil Retention. Super Soaker Soil. All right. So I think I can kind of shrink this down a bit. I am going to change what I am presenting to y'all. So hang on just a second. Let me get everything set up. Need to get all this stuff out of the way. All right, so here are, I'm going to show you, these are 2 of the soils. Hang on a second, I got to get the other one out. Here's the 3rd one. Y'all gonna have to give me a second. Y'all can't see that though, so hang on. I'm getting there. Let me get it all set up. I'm gonna put this in there. Let's see. All right, hang on just a minute. Let me change what I'm presenting to you guys. All right. So you see that over here on the left, nope, you don't see it yet because I haven't clicked shared. Hang on a minute. I got to click share. Sandy's like, come on, Mrs. Metz, get with it. Now you can see it. All right, so on the left, you see the lab sheet we have to fill out. So hopefully yours is open. You may have to do split screen as well. Okay, that's what I did is I have a split screen. And then you have all the soil samples. Let me clean my mess off of my desk real quick so that when I do... What? Do you have... Do you have a Chromebook? At the very beginning of the year, we downloaded an extension that allows you to do it. I think the easiest, if you don't know what the shortcut is, which I personally do not know what the shortcut is, there's like a couple of buttons that you can push that'll automatically do it. I don't know what those buttons are. But I will tell you that if you, in the upper right-hand corner next to the X, you have like these boxes that are stacked, if you click on those stacked boxes in the far right-hand corner, it'll shrink it. It'll shrink your screen down. And then you can actually click and hold whatever tab that you want to split and drag it over. And when you drag it over, it'll go big, but if you click on that little box, it shrinks it back down, and then you can kind of manipulate and size it the way that you want to, just like I did with my screen. And if you don't understand a word that I'm saying, I don't know how else to explain it. And I can't spend an entire class period explaining that because we have things that we have to do. Here's what I am going to tell you. Do the best you can for today, and then maybe tonight or later today or over Thanksgiving holiday, maybe kind of play with it to kind of really, Brianna, please stop, to really see if you can't figure out what I'm talking about. And that's if you want to. I mean, you don't have to. It just makes things easier sometimes. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to do two things at once, and as I've told you before, I don't do multiple things very well. It's mathematically impossible to give 100% to more than one thing. And maybe one day when we have time, I can explain that to you. Let me get all this stuff. I want to make sure that we have a good background whenever we do the labs, which is what I'm trying to kind of clear my mess off of my desk, which I don't know why I didn't do this before. I guess I just didn't think about it. All right, so the first thing I want to do, though, is talk about the color, the texture, and then we will look at the water retention, okay? So, hang on a second. All right, so I think this one is camel, okay? Hang on, let me write that down. Where's my Sharpie? I need a Sharpie. All right, so we have, that's not a Sharpie. I need to clean my stuff out. Somebody needs to come organize for me. All right, so this is camel. Okay, so that's the camel. This is the rabbit. Okay, this is the squirrel. So I can come over here into the camel to text box. What color is the camel? Natalie. What? Yeah, it's black. I don't think so. No, the soil camel. Can you see the soil camel? Can you? That's gray. It is gray. So I'm going to type that the camel is gray. It is gray. So go ahead and put that the camel is gray in that box. Please make sure that you are following along. Okay. Please make sure that you are filling in your lab sheet because this is due today. I mean, we won't be able to fill in the very last row, but you're going to have to click submit, right? So it's due today. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to send out an email to everybody and your parents and guardians to let you know that we've been very forgiving with assignments these past 6 weeks, okay? But the district policy states that you have 3 days to complete an assignment. Okay, 3 is all we are required to give you. And the maximum grade you can get after today or after those 3 days is a 70, okay? So please make sure you're following along and getting it done and submitting it today. Do you understand? Please. We don't need to be playing these long 3 week later games today. It's due today. Let me get some water. now don't get me wrong, unless for some reason this doesn't go the way that it's supposed to and I have to extend the assignment, then I will. But as of right now, it is due today because we're doing it together. All right? Okay, what color is the rabbit soil? What color is the rabbit soil? Vipaswi. It is white. The rabbit soil is white. So I'm going to type white in there. I'm typing white in the color for the rabbit soil. Scarlett, do you have a question? Or you were wanting to answer the other one? Okay. I'm moving on. Okay. How about squirrel? What color is squirrel? LeBron.
Brown.
It is brown. So I am going to go ahead and type in brown in there. So right now in my table for color, under camel I have gray, under rabbit I have white, and under squirrel I have brown. Yes, thumbs up. You all have that in your table. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. You all, I expect all of you have the exact same answers as I do when you go click submit. Yes? All right, so I'm going to move these out of the way for a second. My squirrel and my rabbit, and I'm going to come to the camel. I'm going to come to the camel, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Okay, because we're going to talk about the texture. How it feels, the texture of how it feels. Yucky is a word I would use to describe it. Sujav.
Kind of looks like clay.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. So it is clay, okay? And I'm going to tell you, it is, it's sticky, okay? So I'm going to use the word sticky. It's wet. It's wet. When I first pulled it out of the package, it was wet. And if you see it sticking to me? It sticks to me, okay? Which is why I have a wipe over here. I have a wipe to get it off my hand. So the texture is, and I'm going to type it in there, it's sticky, okay? It's sticky. Sticky, S-T-I-C-K-E-Y. I think that's how you spell sticky. Maybe it's just Y. Sticky. It's wet. Feels wet. It's smooth. I would say that it feels smooth. Feels smooth. So it's sticky, wet, and smooth, right? It's moldable. It's moldable. So now I'm going to go to the rabbit one. You ready for the rabbit? Let's see what rabbit feels like. Rabbit is good. Rabbit is wide. All right, rabbit. Rabbit. Spork out of there real quick. I'm really not interested in touching this stuff. LeBron, do you have a question?
How does a rabbit look like English pie candy? It's white.
What?
Looks like a pink cotton candy color.
That's it? I don't see pink at all.
It looks like pink.
I think that's just the... No, I think that's just the screen. It's not pink at all. It's white. LeBron. I don't want to touch it. I don't want it on me. All right, it is. Woo! You know what it feels like? It feels like powder. It is soft like powder.
I want to touch it.
I know. It is soft like powder. LeBron, do you keep clicking the hand raise button? Because I've said your name like 2 or 3 times and you have yet to come off and mute and tell me what you want.
If you want to touch it, you need to go to school with a mask.
Yep. What LeBron said. All right. So the rabbit one is soft like powder. It is soft like, that's not how you spell powder. It is soft like, oh, it is soft, 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 soft. Soft. Soft like powder. How about Scarlet?
The rabbit may be soap because it doesn't powder.
Good call. You are correct. You are correct. Y'all are like way ahead of all this, right? All right. Squirrel. What do y'all think squirrel is? Since y'all are telling me what these are. Rebecca, what is squirrel?
Sand.
It is sand. You are correct. I mean, honestly, I assume it's sand. It wasn't labeled sand, I'll tell you that much. But let's feel a bit. You ready? It is... Oh.
Like chocolate brownie.
I'm not eating it. All right, so it is sand. It is sticking to me, which tells me it's a little wet. I think one of the things that I forgot to say with the rabbit is that it's very dry, right? It feels very dry. So I'm going to say that the squirrel is very grainy. It's coarse and grainy. So I'm going to say the squirrel is coarse, C-O-U-R-S-E. Nope, you can't. That's not typing at all. Let's try that again. Coarse, C-O-U-R, coarse, grainy, G-R-A-I-N-Y. It's a little wet. I'm going to go back to the rabbit and add that it's a dry, soft powder. I'm going to add the word dry. It was very dry. Alrighty? It was very dry. Alright. Hang on a second. So I had measuring spoons somewhere, and I don't know where they went. Oh, there they are. Okay, so then the lab said we need to put, hang on a second. We need to put, this might work. We need to put a teaspoon or a tablespoon of each one in a coffee filter. Hang on a minute. I'm trying to. No. That might work. Nope, that won't work. It's not going to work at all. Here. That might. Just don't move. All right. So, I need to put a teaspoon of these in a coffee filter so we can measure water collection, which is how much it flows through it, and water retention, how much stays in it. So, it's got water in it. So, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tilt this. Hopefully y'all be able to see this. We're about to find out. Okay. So, I have these little beaker thingies. My little science beakers. See? I have these little science beakers. Let's do this. There we go. I have 2 sets of them. Okay, one of the soils that I'm going to use is actually not on our list, but I'm going to use it anyway because one of the things that we are supposed to do is test which one of these is best for growing plants. So we are going to plant some seeds today. I'm going to plant some seeds today, and then we're going to see how well each of them grow over the course of the next few weeks. All right, so this is going to be a little bit tricky. So I am going to start with one of these. So I don't know if y'all can see that very well. Maybe not. Let me see if I can back it up a bit. But there's like lines on here that has a milliliter measurements. You can kind of see it on this one way over here. There's lines on here that show millimeter measurements. So I am going to put a clump of camel. When I say a clump, I don't know how well I can measure a teaspoon. Teaspoon, tablespoon. Let's see. I got measuring spoons missing. Who takes measuring spoons? All right. There's a half. I can get 2 of those in there. All right. Yeah, we'll do. That'll work. Okay, so this is my clay. Can y'all see that? No? So here's the clay. You see the clay? Okay. I'm going to put clay in a filter. I am going to put that filter in a funnel. This little funnel. Okay, so I have this little funnel. And I am going to put 100 milliliters of water. I'm not doing that. That's a lot. 80 milliliters. 60. How about I just do 80? I'm just going to do 80. I'm going to do 80 milliliters. So 80 milliliters, according to my little science cup, is a third of a cup. I'm going to need some more water. So 80 milliliters. Y'all ready for this? Whoa. 80 milliliters. I'm going to pour it in here. This isn't going to hold. I need a bigger one. See, look at that. It's spilling over. I need a bigger one. Hang on a minute. I have a better idea. I'm going to use less water. Huh. Let me try. I've made a mess. Holy moly, I've made a mess. It's a good thing I like making messes. Messes are fun. Y'all are laughing at me. Y'all are laughing at me. That's not nice. All right, let's see if I can pick up my mess. Hang on. Woo! Science can be so messy. All right. Oh. Gotta fill that clay now. Clay feels nasty. All right, let me try that again. I am going to use less water this time. All right. Let's see how this works. We're going to do less. Sometimes less is more, right? Where are my lines? Okay, there are my lines. I might have to make those lines darker. Okay, let's try this again. I'm not using the 80 milliliters. I'm not even going to use that. Well, I guess I could do. Yeah, I still don't. 60 still may be too much. I wish I had one that had 50, but it'll be fine. Hang on, I gotta get more water though. Well, I don't know if 10 would be enough for the other ones, but this will be fine. Okay, so I'm going to use 60. We'll see. Yeah.
Everyone was laughing at you.
I know. I saw that. That's fantastic. Okay, so I honestly think this is probably less than 60. So we're going to say that it's 50 milliliters. Maybe, maybe not. All right, are we ready? And I'm going to bet that this is going to make a mess. So instead of using 80, I'm going to use 50. Ready? Pour it in there. And look at that. Like, it is seriously filling up, right? So most of the water came out. Can y'all see that? Most of the water came out. So when I said water collection, how much water flows through it? So how much water flowed through it? That is, I would say that it's probably about 41 milliliters, okay? 41 milliliters. So in that second box underneath the camel, or the third box, I'm going to type in 41 space milliliters. No, not big. Milliliters. ML. Are y'all with me? 41 milliliters is how much water was collected, right? So to do the water retention is going to be, I'm going to say I didn't fill it all the way up. So I didn't use 60 milliliters. Let's say that it was 50 milliliters minus 41 milliliters equals 9 milliliters collected. Are y'all with me? Do y'all understand that? Thumbs up, y'all got that typed in? Okay. So water collected was 41 milliliters. Water retained was 9 milliliters. My mLs are backwards. It's supposed to be a little m and a big L. Little m, big L. Milliliters is little m, big L. Little m, big L. All right. So do y'all see that calculation in water retention? Water retention is the subtraction of what you put in versus what was collected, water retained. Yes? All right. Let's get through the rabbit and the squirrel. Rabbit and squirrel. Rabbit. Rabbit is good. Rabbit is wide. I'm just going to have to just make a mess. That's just all there is to it. We're just making messes, aren't we? All right. Rabbit. So for the rabbit, I am going to put a teaspoon of rabbit in there. Put a teaspoon, so there's 1. 2 halves make a whole, right? 2 halves make a whole. I am going to put 50 milliliters of water. 50 milliliters of water. Okay. 50 milliliters. We'll see what happens. Whoa. Look at that. Can y'all see that? Kind of. Do y'all see what it's doing? Look at that. Is that not crazy? What? Yeah, so.
That's cold water.
Oh, wait, there it goes. Here we go.
Stop.
Well, it's still coming. So, oh my goodness, I thought that was going to fall. Hang on a second. Let me grab another one. I have more. Okay. While that one's draining, we're going to do the sand now. Okay? I'm going to do the sand now. Oh, wait. I can't because I only have one funnel. That's fantastic. That's all right. That's all right. I got this. Watch this. I'm so good. I'm telling you. Watch this. Oh, because it's more fun that way. Y'all wouldn't have had a good laugh had I not spilled the water, right? Y'all like to laugh, don't you? This isn't working. Never mind, that's not going to work. I'm not that good. We're about to find out, aren't we? That one's still draining. We'll calculate in just a second. All right, so here's my sand. or the squirrel, I apologize. The squirrel. All right. I'm putting a teaspoon of sand in there. I'm having to do 4/4 to make a hole. Okay. I feel like I'm cooking. You know what I mean? All right. Take my 50 milliliters.
I know when you're cooking. You're cooking water.
I am, aren't I? 50 milliliters of water in the sand. And go. All right, so there we go. All right, so while that one is draining, I'm going to come back to my lab sheet. Water collected on the rabbit is 35 milliliters, okay? So the water collected on the rabbit is 35 milliliters. So I'm going to put 35 milliliters, which means that water retained is 50 milliliters. 50 milliliters minus 35 milliliters, which equals what? 15 milliliters? Scarlett. I think it's 15 milliliters. So, my rabbit retained 15 milliliters. My squirrel gave me, I collected about 37. Yeah, I'm going to say about 37 milliliters. So my squirrel collected 37 milliliters. That's why we measure in milliliters, right? It's such a small amount, which means it retained 50 milliliters minus, big O, minus 37 milliliters equals, what's 50 minus 37? 13 milliliters. All right? All right. Once you have that typed in, guess what you're going to do? So, first off, which one retains the most water? Which one retains the most water? Camel, rabbit, or squirrel? Luke, which one retained the most? Rabbit retained the most at 15. Which one collected the most water? Which one collected the most? Cruz.
Rabbit.
Collected the most? No, the one that collected the most water is which one? Natalie.
Camel?
Mm-hmm. It's camel. All right, so hang on a second. Please go on mute unless you've been called on. All right, so at this point, guys, this is all we can fill in on this table for right now. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to go click on submit. And what? What are you going to do?
Say no.
Nope, you are going to submit. You are going to submit right now because you should have been doing this with me. This is due today. If you were following along, you should have been typing it as I was typing it. Thumbs up. LeBron's giving me a thumbs up. So guys, go ahead and click submit. Your assignment for class today is done, and you are free to go to math, and I will see you at 2:25. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you at 2:25.
Bye.
Bye.